I think the world is starting to realize that this is revolutionary technology. 2 years ago, it was only startups integrating or trying to develop blockchains. Now that it's established private businesses, public businesses are looking at ICOing, governments are looking at developing blockchain applications. So it's not just startups now, it's really being taken into production.
I think that the reality is that everyone chases money, and we can all try to, selflessly say that we don't, but that's just the reality. It's the question of how do you accumulate value. People trying to create and accumulate value is what we've had since the beginning of human history. That's not a problem. I think that you are in a bubble, indefinitely, and I think that it's this fear of missing out is obviously a very, a real thing, but I don't think that's also a bad thing. I think that bubbles are good in many ways as well, right? It allows us to drive flourishes of innovation very quickly and the investment of capital, and of course, markets, are based on that effectively, and that's not a bad thing. The question is, what are the outcomes that you're creating, and to make sure that the innovations that are being created in that bubble, even if they do fail initially and people lose money, is that the overall outcome of that in a decade or 2 decades is something that is positive and beneficial to society.
With all this hype with ICOs, there's obviously a lot of irrational exuberance. There's, as Joe said, there's good things and bad things. With every technology cycle, there's a boom and bust. And look at the 2000 tech bubble. I hate comparing it to this, but there's a lot of good companies that came out of that, and that essentially laid the foundation for where we are today.
Fire!